Hello and welcome everybody to another edition of the Jam and Cheese Show. Vegas is over and done with. Round one is now complete. Cheese, how are you feeling after the big trip home? You back onto Sydney time, ready for round two?
Yeah, I'm feeling all right. We had back at training. We had 2 days of training, but we've had yesterday off, today off. But you could tell the body took a bit of a toll because the training, like we got fairly rinsed. We had off-feet con for an hour, and then the other day we had basically con for another couple of hours.
Off-feet con is...
Yeah, putrid.
It's an ambush.
It's like assault bike, watt bike, rower, ski erg. It wasn't fun. I think my heart rate set at 91% was the average, which is obviously very tough. But yeah, we needed that hit out. We've been on the plane, had a big night obviously in Vegas, and I was feeling a bit hard done by for most of the part. But we're back at it, and I could only imagine that the Penrith team would have been feeling that as well, because we trained like busted asses. Well, I trained like a busted ass. But it's good to be back. Shampoo in the eye this morning too. Wasn't my ideal start to the morning.
No, well, we're talking about eyes. I've got some sort of infection going on in mine. Feeling great.
Yeah, we'll keep it an infection, Jimmy.
What are you trying to imply?
It's a bunion of the eye.
Well, this is what producer Charlie White's saying. Maybe I've got a bunion. Like Danganane yesterday, sort of implying I've been in sort of some barroom brawl in Las Vegas. I wish it was as impressive and as out there as that, and a bit of a story.
You should just
to
come
tell.
up, mate. I knocked out 3 people. They're all coming at me at once.
Do you think this is bad? You want to see the state of them? Yeah. Everything Roosters. How's the mood in the camp? Cheese. Obviously, there's been a lot of distraction with the ongoing issue between Spencer Leniu and now he's admitted to using the slur that he did. This, for our audience, the time of recording is before Spencer's trial, which I believe is this evening, Monday evening. How's the mood in the camp? And look, I can't just gloss over it. Like, can you say anything? Like, are you allowed? Have you spoken about that?
At the end of the day, like, Spencer's got my full support. Whether I agree or disagree, that's my teammate. He's one of the brothers. And yeah, we've definitely addressed it. And it's sort of just a learning lesson for not only our club, but every club, the NRL community. And, he knows he done the wrong thing. And even at the time, he probably didn't have any malice about it. It's just not the right thing to say. But at the end of the day, as a club, we're behind Spence no matter what, because that's one of the brothers. And it's hard to touch too much into it, but I know that he's upset. You see him at training, and I guess there's that feeling of letting people down. That feeling of being in the news, your family's going through it all. Everyone's trying to have a pot shot at him. It's a tough feeling, and just mentally, we've got his back, and a lot of people go through hard times, and this is just one of them. So, like I said, I can't say whether I agree or disagree with what happened, but yeah, I'm definitely behind him. Yeah,
well, I think the NRL are in a tough predicament. Obviously, by the time this recording comes out, we'll know the punishment handed to Spencer Leniu, and I don't know if this story is going to go away quickly. Obviously, the reaction to the punishment, then Spencer's return, then when Roosters play Broncos again.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I was thinking if he gets more than 8 weeks, we won't see him. So hopefully it's not more than 8 weeks.
Yeah, look, it's a very difficult one for the NRL to get this right. Obviously, racism doesn't belong in society. It doesn't belong in our game.
Yeah.
They need to make sure that people know that this is not racial slurs are not acceptable. So I guess we'll find out soon and react.
Yeah, it's just hard seeing. Well, I'm excited to see when he comes back, because I dare say there'll be some talk about him using his footy to speak.
Yeah.
Afterwards, and I'm excited for the comeback of Spencer, and just the hard thing is seeing someone sort of upset and going through, because obviously I've not been through this bad, but I've been through a few things in my career, and with the scandal and with the calling the ref a cheat, and it takes a toll on not only you, but a lot of it gets your family takes a big toll, and we just make sure we as a club and as an organisation are tight knit on it, and have his back and make sure he's doing well mentally off the field. I don't know if you saw the Ben Barba interview, but that's one of your teammates that obviously is going through a tough time. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, look, it was quite confronting to read the quotes from Benny. I've actually had the unfortunate experience of losing a former teammate to suicide, someone who I played with in my younger years at St. Helens, and we were really close for a number of seasons before I came out over here. And then to read that from Benny, I guess it doesn't say when he was going through that, but I guess, the learnings from that interview. Now, I know Benny has done or been accused of some things that, are not acceptable, but we'd be crazy as a game not to learn from that experience of this young kid that was playing basically just in the park, on the streets, to get thrown into the NRL, into the limelight. He speaks a little bit in the third person about like he wasn't prepared for Benny Barba, the famous person that everyone wanted to be around, and being in Sydney and all the distractions and all the temptations that come with that, and where that can lead you to, and the effects and the consequences that can have on your life through. I guess, look, to a point, you're in charge of your own destiny, but your environment does shape you. And his environment growing up in rural Queensland, where he's just a knockabout kid, then taking someone out of that environment into the environment of Sydney. I think it's something that us as a game should learn from, because
and it wasn't like he was just an NRL player.
Yeah,
he was a superstar. Yeah. He's a Dally M medalist winner. Like, he was one of the best players in the world.
Yeah.
And with that comes with so much more pressure as well. Yeah.
Which I think certainly back then in 2012, it was just let Benny go and do his thing. And, maybe, as a teammate, I like to drink. We were really tight there for a number of years. I didn't see any signs, but maybe, there's that a little bit of tough love where a club needs to step in and say, mate, we're noticing, you're hanging out too much or whatever it may be. It's a very difficult conversation, because coaches and clubs just want the performance on the field, and can sometimes turn the blind eye to what's going on away from it. But I think basically we need to put support around these superstars, especially the real top end players, the Ben Barbers of the world that are lighting up the competition, that perhaps don't know how to deal with fame. Yeah. Like some people may laugh and go, well, you're getting paid to play this game, and it's the absolute dream. It's a goal that's been earned through hard work, and you think, well, what? There can't be any negative side to it, but it can come with some side issues that, if it aren't addressed, can fester, and thankfully Benny made the decision not to go through with some of the things that he spoke about. But then, how far could it have got where he does decide that based off, some of the decisions that he's made, but also perhaps not. We could intervene. I think intervention is better than a cure. Like we need to recognize that young superstars do get thrown into this cauldron of NRL superstar and fame, and they need guidance on how to deal with it. But yeah, I just hope that Benny's doing okay and he can find peace with himself and concentrate on his family, like he spoke about. That was his main goal for not taking that drastic action, which like I say, a former teammate of mine who we're really good mates with decided to do that, and like as a teammate, you're like, as a friend, like he was my mate. He wasn't even my teammate, he was my mate. And as a mate, you're like, well,
yeah, well, I'd say, like, I don't know if it's advice, but if you're feeling like that and you try to distance yourself from your team, that's the worst thing you can do.
Yeah.
I feel like I've got enough connections now, or like friendships that I've built along the teams I've played for, that I'm very fortunate enough that if I've ever had intrusive thoughts or stuff like that I've got people that I can go to that will bring me back down. And I guess you just got to find that in your team. You got to find that person or find that connection with someone that has got your back, no matter what you put on them. You're not the burden. You know what I mean? It's a burden if you don't really express your feelings to your teammates. But that would be, I just know, case in point would be Nico. Like he's that guy for me.
Yeah.
And it's I don't know, I half feel emotional about thinking about it, but that's the type of thing you need to find.
Yeah.
And like that'll really help you get through whatever you're thinking.
Yeah, and look, no one's perfect, and a lot of people make mistakes, but we need to be there for one another, and it's concerning for me, and I just hope Benny, like I say, finds the ability to overcome this and be a great father for his 4 daughters. But on to round 1. Cheese, your old club, the Melbourne Storm, continue this incredible record over 2 decades now of winning round 1 games. I thought this week, or the week just gone, coming up against the back-to-back champions in the Penrith Panthers, with no Munster, with no Nelson, I thought they were really going to struggle, but they came up with an amazing defensive display. Yeah,
I think that's one of those wins that Craig will absolutely love. It was a sloppy old game to start off with. There was so many errors, and I thought towards the back end of that second half the tide had really turned. There's a few tired bodies in the Melbourne team, and I honestly don't know what it is. Like I don't know what it is about the early game, the round 1. But that was just a gutsy effort. Like Josh King's tackle on Nathan Cleary, like he's slow. He's a slow individual. I don't think you'll mind if I say that. But that kind of just epitomizes what that team was sort of doing at the time in that game. It was I thought it was going to be a snooze fest after the first half, but then it really lit the show up in the second half. But super stoked for Bowser to keep that record, especially if it is his last one. And Harry, super stoked for Harry to get his first captaincy dub as well.
Yeah, there's no way this could be Bellamy's last year.
I don't reckon either. I was watching a few people talk about it, and I was like, everyone's got the same opinion. It's like he can't just be like a director of football. He's like,
I think what impressed me most about Melbourne's performance is they disrupted Nathan Cleary. Like they were in his face a lot. He came up with a couple of errors, and could almost see the frustration in him. No doubt Penrith will get better when combinations get bedded in, but I thought Melbourne did a great job in limiting his impact, and I thought their forwards were a lot better. And their whole across the park, their defence, based off what we saw at the back end of last year versus what we witnessed in round one only a couple of days ago, was chalk and cheese. It seems like they've gone away and worked insane. It looked more like the Melbourne of old on Friday night versus what was creeping in at the back end of last year.
The defence definitely looked like the Melbourne of old, and there was a lot of pressure from them. But I thought they chanced their arm a lot more than like a Melbourne team usually would. Like they were shifting the ball early, like shifting the ball off, first tackle kicks and stuff like that. They say a team's the most vulnerable on the first tackle because everyone's sort of out of position and stuff. But it was weird to see that. And I don't know whether it was a plan against Penrith or it's something they're going to keep doing moving forward. But I just to keep them to 0.
That's massive.
That's very tough. I think the only other team to keep that team to 0 was Melbourne as well.
Yeah.
But I think that was without Cleary, Yo, all that. I played in that game.
Well done. I thought Trent Liero was huge for Melbourne. I thought he had a really good game. Lots of effort plays. I thought Xavier Coates was fantastic as well. He came up with some great stops. Just when you think Penrith are going to strip him on that edge, he was just right place, right time. Yeah,
I think the man of the match for me was probably on the losing side though. I thought Taylor May, he was
very good.
He was very good, like defense and attack. Did you have any opinion on the obstruction rule?
I thought it was correct.
Yeah,
I thought it was correct. I don't think you can let that fly because I think the Melbourne player, I can't recall who it was, he moved.
Jerome Hughes.
Yeah, he moves in. And then I think it was Cleary who caught the ball behind, the Penrith player who catches the ball. Luai catches the ball behind and then runs behind. I just, look, I'm personally, I'm happy to see that chalked off.
Yeah.
And if that try is scored in an Origin, a grand final, I'd be happy to see that chalked off. But May, when he got that ball, it was like cheat mode on the computer game. It was insane.
Yeah, I don't know.
And I know Penrith will miss Stephen Crichton, but with him coming in, like we talk about that.
That's an incredible game for someone who's like first game back from an ACL.
Yeah, and he's not played a lot of football even before that. He's been injured as well. Like his first NRL game in a long time. Like you think
something in the water with those May boys.
He's only going to get better. Like when he's more comfortable, he's more accustomed to playing centre.
Yeah,
gets more, live game situation under his belt. Like talk about replacing Stephen Crichton. They've done it there.
Just got to wear the long studs, eh? A few slips.
Yeah. But I agree. I think he was the man of the match. He was outstanding. But yeah, this record of Melbourne continues on. God knows how they do it, but it just keeps on going because I
sort of know, but then everyone works hard.
Everyone works hard. But and I think the fact that Munster was missing, which is bizarre, that this
he slipped in the shower.
Yeah, slipped in the shower, strained his groin.
I got some inside goss on that. Actually, it's a true story. It's an actual true story. I was speaking to Harry yesterday, and he said that Munster stepped out of the shower and slipped over, and then he's immediately blamed Harry for leaving so much water on the floor in the shower.
You can't do that. You've got to put a mat down.
Mate, are you saying it's Harry's fault? Apparently Harry reckons he dried off in the shower, so there's no water at all.
Well, no, you as the person in the shower, you've got to place your mat before you get in. Do you know what I mean? So like before you get in the shower, you put the mat down.
Yeah, no, I don't. I just get out and
get out.
I just use my core to stay upright.
See, I mat down first, and then
There you go, Munster, little tip for you. Mat down before
Mat
you
down
get out.
first. But this groin injury, it's surrounded with mystery. I've had groin issues myself, and they can just come and go. And there's days you feel amazing, and it's almost like it's not there, and then 2 days later you wake up and...
Yeah, well, he said he can't get out of a jog.
Yeah. So it's concerning. And
When do we play Melbourne? I hope he's gone into...
hopefully he doesn't need surgery and he can just rehab himself back, because he is one of the stars of the game, and obviously he's a bit of a character as well, so he's always good.
Slipping in the shower. That's what old men do, isn't it?
Well, they say a fall is usually the precursor to death in and amongst the elderly population. I'm being serious. That's one of the things. It's I read a couple of books on like longevity, and they say like once you fall, like that's it. A fall with a broken hip, the time on earth starts to significantly decrease. So hopefully Munster's going to stick around.
I
for a little
remember
bit
Belzer
longer.
fell in the shower one time.
Did he?
Yeah, he come into training all ginger. But the
What, with ginger hair or?
he come into the train, walking around feeling a bit sorry for himself. But I reckon the bathroom floor took more damage from that bugger. He's made of granite. His will is too strong to be. The ego check on him. He's like, I'm not too old to fall in the shower. He would have hurt him.
Matt, did anyone quiz him on this?
No, we just made fun of him.
No, but were you willing to accept that he fell in the shower?
Nah, yeah, we were willing.
Right.
Yeah.
I reckon there's a bit more of an investigation to be had there.
Oh.
Plenty of other action happening in round one. Great win for the Dragons up against the Gold Coast Titans.
They were my, if we're having a little team of the week, they were my team of the week.
They're your little team of the week.
Yeah. Like the Storm, like as far as the Storm goes, that it's almost half expected. They played well, but the Dragons, I thought they were on. Yeah,
they did play really well. The Titans a little bit disappointing.
Yeah,
I think losing Kieran Foran.
I was going to say that the players they've got missing doesn't help.
But I think especially like knowing Des Hasler, like I do, and I know how much structure he would put into his attacking game plan. So it's a new system for them in attack. Foran's he's the conductor, and then all their practice that they would have been doing would have been as Foran as the conductor of the attack.
Yeah.
Now you take him out.
He was a late takeout as well,
and you bring someone in. It completely disrupts timings, flow, area of pass selection, pass accuracy, all those different things. Like nobody's going to be able to conduct that attack like Kieran Foran. So I think that was a big reason as why the Gold Coast Titans, they had plenty of play the balls in and on the Dragons try line, but they just couldn't create much. And I think that was due to the Dragons working really hard in defense, but also the Foran missing was a huge factor. Yeah, for sure. I just thought, the Dragons played how I thought a Shane Flanagan team would play. Kyle Flanagan had a great game. Ben Hunt, towards the back end of the game, just really iced it out. Some huge game from Jack Bird. I think they're going to give the top 8 a definite crack. You reckon? Yeah. Obviously first game, but the way they played, I thought it was pretty nice. It's probably since you left, actually. Yeah, fair enough. Mate, if they're in and around the top 8, good luck to them. I'm not going to get too carried away with the Dragons just yet. It was a great victory. But one person I was really pleased for is Sloan. Like he's a confidence player, and to see him come up with a hat trick and have a smile on his face, that's a huge boost for him, because he just needed that little bit of good fortune to go his way. He's trying hard. Like I watched him in the trials, and he's trying his balls off, and then he almost tries too hard, and then mistakes happen, and you can see just a little bit all over the shop. But
He's
delighted for him to get the hat trick.
He's not like a Tedesco fullback, is he? He's like he's just when he injects himself, dangerous things happen. Like I think he had like 3 tries for 57 meters.
Yeah,
but 3 tries, you'll take that.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just it's about I don't know whether he wants to add that extra layer onto his game where he gets busy, because sometimes you're not like your one play is not going to make a difference. But
yeah, no, I know.
He was electric though.
Yeah. The Bulldogs, unfortunately.
I got to eat my words about Para, don't I?
Why? What did you say about Para?
I just thought they were going to lose.
Ah, yes, you did. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Dogs were just giving themselves too much to do in that first half, but I think they showed a fair bit of care factor. Well, not fair. They showed they care, and they're committed to the cause to repel Parramatta. The possession stats were just horrible. I
think they were like 86% at one point.
They were horrible.
86% after like 20 minutes. That is terrible.
And they were,
but like you got to give your props to like flowers to Parra. They completed it like 29 from 29 at like to start the game. Well, that is just.
And sometimes all it takes is just one mistake, and before you know it, you're just fucked. So the Blake Taff error, I think 3rd set of the game.
Yeah.
Like, just fucks you.
Well, like being at the Roosters last year, that's how we sort of played. We just made a lot of errors in the first couple of sets or first 20 minutes. We've got about 4 knock-ons, and it takes a toll on you. It takes a toll on you for the whole game, and like you got to take your hat off to Bulldogs as well to get those 2 tries at the back end after what they had gone through. Like it's easy for you to put your head down.
Yeah,
Edo Carr's gone. You just haven't had the ball.
Yeah,
but I thought it was going to be a whitewash.
I was worried there. But second half, even split of possession, and it's 2 tries each.
Yeah.
So I think it's not all doom and gloom at the Dogs. I think there's a lot of positive signs there. Speaking of possessions, that's the Warriors were totally dominating the Sharks, but then they gave away some silly penalties, made a few errors, and the Sharks just come up with this monumental victory over there. They've finally beaten a top 4 team, so they can shove that up everyone's arse to start the season. Like, when the Sharks get talked about for finals, it's like, they can't beat a top 4.
Yeah,
can't beat top 4. Well, they've gone and done it round 1.
Yeah, I just can't believe it.
Like some of Nico's defense in the back end, that last they were hammering him.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say that I'm proud of what he did, because he's not a notable defender. He's known for his, kicking game, his passing game, his attack, his flair. And to be recognised by the commentators and I guess the whole rugby league community for his defence, I think he'll take a lot of pride out of that. And I sent him a little text. Not too much though. Can't let his head get too big. He thinks he's the world's most sexiest man alive. He thinks he's the best rugby league player in the world. But I think I'll just give him a little bit of
a little bit of love,
little bit of love, but not too much.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's hard to, because I don't know what the forced dropout count was, but Sean Johnson had the ball on a string.
He was
that first 13 minutes. You would never in your wildest dream think Warriors were going to stay on 12 minutes, 12 points. It makes you wonder, like a few of those penalties they had going into like near the line, should they have taken 2? They had about 4 of them.
It's an interesting one. Like I've come under fire for my prediction that I don't know if the Warriors are going to make the 8. I don't know if they can play at that level, like they did last year again. People don't realise how difficult it is to do. I thought Sean Johnson played really well. I thought he was outstanding. And for me, the Warriors, they look a different team when Wade Egan's on the field versus when he's not. He creates so much time and space for his forwards and for the halves, especially Johnson, the way he just jumps out, just holds the ball up, holds the defense up.
Yeah,
that creates, gives you just that extra second as a ball player or as a forward running onto the ball. It creates doubt, so there's less defensive attention.
Yeah, his craft is like second to none, really, in the comp.
Very good. Yeah.
The way he gets out is just no other hooker plays his style like that. Really square, no look pass sort of. But he 9 times out of 10 he picks the right option. So he's a really hard guy to defend because he squares you up, but he passes really well while he's square. It's not like he needs to open up his hips to like pass that ball.
And his face stays straight.
Yeah.
Not just his eyes, but his face stays straight. So you as a defender, you can't go.
Yeah.
It's a weird technique. It's probably something that you would never coach anybody to pass like Wade Egan.
But like he can rip the ball from that square position.
Yeah.
I don't know. People probably don't know, but that's really hard to do.
Well, it's hard to see where you're passing the ball, especially if you're square and you rip it out the back.
Yeah.
So if you're looking forward, like I can see if I've got a short ball to pass, but to get the ball looking square and fire it out the back, you've almost just got to find a voice.
Well, that
rather than find or just have that trust of like, if I jump out, this is where I'm gonna pass it. So SJ, you better be there. Like you've got to trust. You don't make me look like a dick. You be exactly in this spot.
Yeah, and that takes a lot of practice to do. I thought Fanua Blake was. He's got to be one of the hardest people in the comp to tackle.
His footwork at the line it's
stupid.
It's insane.
Did you see where he just ran like straight through?
Yes.
I thought he was going to score. I was cheering it on too. But geez, if you're a punter, he knows how to find the bloody try line.
Yeah, doesn't he just?
Jesus.
Well, he's so dangerous close to the line. You can just jag a cheap try. But yeah, it's going
to be a huge loss for Warriors, but geez, it's going to be a huge game for the Sharks.
Huge game for the Sharks next year. Interesting to see how Wade Egan pulled it up because he left he came back on for a set, and then he was in some strife, and the elbow was already strapped. So look, the Warriors. I think a lot of attention on Roger Tuivasa-Sheck, Adam Fanua-Blake, Sean Johnson, but I think he's your man. I think he's the most.
Well, he was the man last year.
I think he's I know, but all the attention went to Johnson, and he was up there at the top of the Dally M points.
Oh, yeah.
But
I know what you mean.
Wade Egan's, you can, like I use that phrase, the conductor, like foreign. I think without Wade Egan, the tempo, the positions the Warriors are in, the craft, why did I say craft? Funny, the craft. The little play that he puts on for Fanua Blake. Like, I think if that's Lussac, I don't think Fanua Blake scores because Wade Egan just has that habit of making people dive in. So I think Cam McInnes came across and that just opened up the hole and the Sharks players couldn't get there. The final game of the round, there was a couple of interesting calls in this one that really puzzled me. The Cowboys, like a strong victory against the Dolphins, and thankfully there was 2 decisions that didn't impact the game. So the first was a downtown. So I want to get your opinion on this, Cheese. So from memory, the Cowboys were penalised for a downtown, but no player that I could see went downtown other than the hooker. So, and obviously, so you've got the person playing the ball, the dummy half. I think it was Robson. Passes the ball to, say, Townsend. He kicks the ball downfield. And then the referee blows a penalty. And immediately, it's for a downtown. But on the replay, it just looked as if the dummy half and the person playing the ball, maybe the dummy half in Robson had gone slightly earlier. But do you know if you're allowed to do that?
No, you're not. But that's what I was saying. We had to practice it throughout the preseason.
But you're already in front of the kicker.
No, it's not in front of the kicker. It's in front of the play the ball.
Yeah, but
So if he passes it and runs straight,
Yeah.
it's downtown. He would have got warned as well. Like the sideline people, if you start to jog before, they'll yell out to you. They'll be like, Reese, downtown. And maybe he didn't hear it, but like it happened to me on the weekend as well. They say, Brandon, downtown, and you have to stop straight away.
Also, you've passed the ball.
And then I've gone in front of the dummy half, but he hasn't kicked it yet.
You're in front of the play.
Yeah, he hasn't kicked it yet, but then the ref yells out, Brandon, downtown, and then you stay. If you stop, they'll and you can't join the line either. You have to stop and just let the team run. But we've been practicing. You pass the ball, follow the ball, with your pass, and then you sort of go on like a little curve natures as soon as you sort of get the kick.
See, I understand why the downtown.
It's the same with if you play the ball and walk forward, that you downtown. So play the ball and you walk 3 meters forward, that's downtown.
See, I understand why the NRL bought this new this new, I don't like the term crackdown, but this new policing of the rules and saying that it will be penalised if you're downtown. But I don't think it was brought in to stop the dummy half passing the ball, pass and follow on, or the person playing the ball. It's for those teams that almost like a NFL style punt, where they chase down and they're gone. And they've got they're not in the play.
Yeah, and to be fair, I thought that was a tough one because, like, the rule is you can't be in front of the ruck, and the ruck's not the play the ball. The ruck is the space between the ball player, and the guy, the marker. So like the space in between that,
the person playing the ball and the
marker. So the ruck is actually that space in between. It's not exactly where the ball is. So like I didn't think he was like. If he was, it was a sort of a nothing call to probably bring Redcliffe back in the game.
Yeah,
because it wasn't like he was 5 meters in front. He was probably a meter in front of the ball, if that.
Yeah. For me, it's got to be coming from the bunker.
Yeah,
it's got to be. I don't think the naked eye can see that. There's so much shit happening on the game.
Well, I think there's 2 touch judges. The bunker obviously has a say, but there's 2 touch judges. One marks the offside for one team, one does the offside for the other team. And I don't know how they would be able to communicate.
Yeah,
that
it was strange. But then it got even stranger with the penalty try awarded to Cowboys.
I thought there was more games out there that deserved penalty tries this week than that one.
That was mind-boggling.
It actually shocked everyone. It shocked.
Yeah, it shocked the Cowboys.
The ref. I remember it panning to the ref, and he just goes, "It's going to be a penalty try," and everyone was just like, "What?"
Yeah. Well, I was commentating that game for Triple M Radio, and like there was myself, Danganane, Gordon Tallis, and we honestly thought that they were checking to see who'd taken the ball dead, and they were taking a long time. So we started talking about Danganane's cricket commentary and like all this different stuff. And then we're in the middle of we can get sidetracked, and that's all right because the game had dwindled out. So, it's entertainment, not just commentary on the football. And we're talking, and then blows the penalty, blows the whistle, and immediately Dan's gone, "Oh, they've given a penalty." I was like, no, they've given a penalty try. Yeah, it's a penalty try.
Like he was no chance of making that ball,
but also the contact was minimal.
Yeah,
like
it's like the Jordan shove when he against Utah.
Well, I don't know what that is, but I was like,
hey Charlie, you weren't born yesterday. You weren't born yesterday.
Yeah. You always go to the most extreme example: Origin, Grand Final, Semi-Final football, or if the game's on the line.
Yeah, you're not blowing a penalty try in an Origin like that.
Can you imagine the uproar? Gee, yeah. Anyway, we're going to take a quick break from the show to talk about AG1. Taking care of your health isn't always easy, but it should at least be simple. That's why for the past 3 years, I've been drinking AG1 every day, no exceptions. It's just one scoop mixed in water once a day, every day, and it makes me feel focused and ready to take on every day. That's because each serving of AG1 delivers my daily dose of vitamins, minerals, pre- and probiotics, and more. It's a powerful, healthy habit that's also powerfully simple. Healthy aging doesn't need to be complicated. It certainly shouldn't feel complicated. That's why sometimes when you're taking all sorts of mixes of pills, potions, powders, supplements, whatever, it can become exhausting. But just one scoop of AG1 every single day covers all my nutritional bases. It helps support my mental and physical health, which are so important to me, and I don't need the hassle that can be part of the mental health issues. So in just 60 seconds every morning, I know I'm giving my body exactly what it needs and setting up my sustainable habits for the long run. If there's one product I had to recommend to elevate your health, it's AG1. That's why they've been a partner of the Buy Round for so long. So if you want to take ownership of your health, start with AG1. Try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3 and K2 and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase exclusively at drinkag1.com/buyround. That's drinkag1.com/buyround. Check it out. Yeah, it was an impressive win for the Cowboys. I really like their style of football with it. Lots of interchange of passing. Some concerns for the Dolphins around their defense. But interestingly, Jason Tamalolo only played the first 20 minutes.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know what's going on there.
He played at prop.
He's still $1 million man.
Yeah. Played at prop for the first 20 minutes, which is strange. I don't know if he picked up an injury.
Yeah.
But for him to only play 20 minutes, I think it was something like 4 or 5 runs. Like, I don't know. It seemed odd. And I just wonder if that stays the same, whether teams will come in for him. I know the Bulldogs would I'm going to assume the Bulldogs would love a player like him.
Yeah.
I think the Dragons would be after him as well. There'd be plenty of suitors if he was to come available because, we speak about the Zach Lomax of the world and how he's potentially not happy about playing on the wing, but there's no way Jason Tamalolo can be, and it is about doing the job for the team. And obviously Griffin Neem and McIntyre came on, who was awesome, but personally, he's on a very handsome contract. But personally, you've probably got to want at this stage of his career, he's not that aging forward where they just start for 20 minutes and then he doesn't come back on.
No, not at all.
Like he's got to be more impactful on the game.
Yeah, I think it needs, especially confidence must be a factor because he's kind of just 2 years ago he was a stud.
Yeah, he still is.
Yeah, but he was playing big minutes, being a stud, doing his thing, and now, he's kind of been off the bench, playing 20 minutes. So I think you need to get him out there, put him under the hurt locker, put him in the hurt locker. When he looks tired, leave him on there. Yeah. Let him get through that. Let him get through that phase. I remember Toddy Payton said something about, we don't want him playing big minutes and being less impactful, but he needs to get exposure to that because he hasn't been exposed to it for the last 2 years. Yeah, coming off the bench and that's what I feel like it. Yeah, a good thing had happened, but if it is if the club's off him, then yeah,
to be fair, he could just have picked up a knock and it not worth him going back on, but
we could just be chatting shit for no reason.
Well, that's kind of what we do, cheese. Well, it's been a great round of football. Great way to start the NRL over 2 weekends: Las Vegas, Brisbane, New Zealand, Sydney. It's all happening, and lots of upsets as well, which is fantastic for the competition.
Did we even touch on Canberra?
No, we've not touched Canberra yet. No, no. Well, mate, Thursday night feels like a lifetime ago. They were really impressive. Played a very simple game plan. It was simple and effective, and I think that's the way Canberra have got to play if they're going to get victories.
See, everyone had a go at me for picking the Bulldogs, and they said my tipping was terrible. Mate, I tipped the Storm, the Dragons, and Canberra.
Did you pick the Raiders?
Yeah, remember I said Ricky Stewart, they love winning games they shouldn't win.
Yeah, well done. Yeah, well that's why you wanted to bring it up, right? Because
I was a little bit pissed off because I picked Bulldogs and I got rissoled for it.
Couple of English lads who were on display I thought did really well. Morgan Smithies worked his arse off. He played really well. And then Kai Pearce-Paul for the Knights, I thought he made a difference when he came on.
Honestly, the Raiders love that. They love winning games they should not win. Yeah. Well, that's literally Sticky's DNA, I reckon. That is his DNA.
Big statement for the Raiders because not many people fancy them, but I thought Fogarty played really well.
Mate, his kicking game saved them.
Yeah. And that's all the Raiders have got to do.
Yeah.
Timoko as well he's insane. Like, he's actually insane how good he is.
Yeah.
But that's all the Raiders have got to do. Just work hard, complete high, put other teams under pressure. And it came up with the goods. But lots of upset wins, which is great for the competition. On to questions from our listeners. Cheese. We'll get through a couple.
But what's wrong with Edo Carr, do you know?
AC. So I think it's 2 to 4 weeks, which is handy news because he looked in absolute licorice all sorts, didn't he? Like he was in some pain. Now he maybe knows what it's like. You know when he screams over from the wing, tackle him, come on middle. It's like, well, when your shoulder's hanging off, mate, it's not as easy as it looks, is it? But no, wishing him a very speedy recovery indeed. Questions from the listeners. We got Tim Bradish. Who are the best and worst trainers you ever played with?
Best trainer I've ever trained with was Victor Radley. He's insanely. He might not be the fittest I've ever, but like as far as it goes, like body proportionate to fitness to like physical. Dale Finucane's right up there, but Rads is like he smashes people in con, and he loves it. Like he loves to beat people. Like I think he holds the record at the club for the 4 and 5. But yeah, as far as like what you would expect, I expect Ryan Pappenhausen to run 21, and like you know what I mean. Although, but Rads is just like all round. He's a fucking beast.
I reckon mine would be Cam McInnes.
Yeah, see, I've never...
So, like, like insane and not much to him, but he just wants to put his body into contact.
Yeah.
Never complains of being sore. Like, I think about people like Michael Ennis that was meticulous with his preparation. Dale Finucane, again, a nut job.
A lunatic.
But Cam just took it to another level of just, like, in the weight room, like some others who I've trained with that have been good, like would after a game take it easy. He's like throwing weights around like nobody's business, just always more.
Could you imagine them two together?
Like,
jeez,
the defense contact, like loved getting stuck in. He was like insane, and just I reckon he trained harder than he played because he's fresher going into each and every contact. It was the most. Worst trainer. Have you got a worst trainer?
I just can't think of. Not like worse, like he still had good numbers in that, but fuck, Addo's so funny. Like he's just so funny to watch. Like when he's in the hurt locker.
Who's this?
Josh Addo-Carr. Oh, when he's in the hurt locker, like he's in the hurt locker. He's like, like running, making noises, and doing commandos and stuff, bro. It's just so funny. But like he's still fit and like that, like trains hard. But it's just like the noticeable difference from him being fresh and him being but yeah, I don't know. Without putting anyone on blast, I don't want to ruin anyone's contracts. Yeah.
Mine definitely goes to someone who I played with in England by the name of Nick Fozzard, who not many of our Australian listeners will know, but he was an old front rower, and he just didn't really care for training too much. Like, he used to come in and try and bring everyone's energy down. Like he'd walk around and just be like, "Oh, does anyone else feel really tired?" Just in a jokey way, like, "Oh, can anyone else not be arsed today?"
Yeah,
like,
mate.
Just
that is
constantly like, and always like in earshot of the coaches as well, like saying stuff in and around the coaches.
This is fucked.
Oh, this is fucked. This is. Maybe we once went on like a pre-season, like warm weather training camp in Portugal. It was Daniel Anderson, and Daniel Anderson was at the front. We'd just finished this camp, and it was pretty tough. But like we'd had a night out and whatnot, and getting on the bus to leave the camp to go to the airport, like just like Foz was about 3 rows back. And he's like saying to people, just so Daniel could hear, like, I tell you what, he goes, "Hey, Jamie, you know what? This has been the best holiday I have ever had. And I'm not even joking. Like, seriously." And Daniel would pipe up and be looking back going, "Hey, this has been a serious training camp, Foz." But yeah, he took the piss for...
Mate,
and he even had like plans about like what injuries wouldn't lead to a scan. And like
this guy sounds all time.
He was all he'd come in and be like, "Oh," to the physio, "my neck's sore," and he'd know. I think it's nerves. They're not going to send me for a scan, but he knew he'd get out of training. He goes, "You don't want to overdo it and be like, oh, my hamstring," because they'll send you for a scan and realise there's nothing wrong.
Yeah.
So he knew which injuries to push for getting out of training. It's neural. It's neural.
The Jesse Bromwich was a specialist for that. Not like complaining, but like trying to break people. Like if the backs and forwards train separately, you'd come into the sheds and Jesse would like pretend that he's like absolutely spent. He goes, "Boys, fucking enjoy it in there. It's the toughest session I've ever had."
Yeah. I enjoyed that. Like, didn't see that coming.
Yeah. Or like just a sneaky like, what about the con we've got at the end of the session? And just try like breaks.
I love those. Like, do you know what we've got today? Oh yeah. Have you spoke to the coach?
Yeah, we're doing a Bronco.
I'm not ready for it. Like, just, you can see people wigging out.
And is one of his favourite coaches. One of my favourite coaches who used to walk off most sessions. He'd go, "Boys, there's not a single thing I could have done better today." Just like there is not a single thing I could have done better today. I was unbelievable.
Final question from Brad Johnson: Which player is going to be a surprise superstar this year? Good one for you, Cheese, who I reckon's going to have a breakout year. Siwa Wong.
Yeah, I'll take it.
He has got superstar written all over him.
Yeah. He's so young too. He's 20, I think.
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
He was amazing the back end of last year.
Yeah, I think he's amazing. 20 or 21. Weird one. It's not a breakout season for him, but I thought the way Bryce Cartwright played the other day, or even Freddie Lussick, the way he played, but I think Bryce Cartwright was probably best player on the field for that Para game. Yeah, and it was good to see him get down and dirty. He was trying to put shots on.
I think it was him that injured Fox's shoulder.
Yeah.
That through the contact. It's Bryce Cartwright, he can fall into that trap of overplaying sometimes, but when he gets that balance right between carry the ball into contact and then offload or pass when it's on.
Yeah.
Like, he's so dangerous.
No, I thought he was. He really impressed me. He's had a lot of ups and downs already in his career, but to see him be like competitive like that, because he's got all the skill in the world. It's like a lot of those front rowers at Para, but to see him be that competitive and have a little, grunt about him, I think he's going to have a big season. And Para need him to have a big season.
Yeah, they do. I think, I'm going to obviously show my biases with the English lads, with Morgan Smithies killing it for Canberra, but I thought Kai Pearce-Paul, when he came on for Newcastle, he looks really dangerous and a little bit. Is
he that big sucker?
Yeah.
He looks good. I didn't know that was his name, but he looks good.
He is good. That's why. He's very similar in that Bryce Cartwright style role of playing on an edge into the line, late offload. He looked like exciting things were going to happen in and around him. So as Ponga, as Hastings, as Gamble, get used to playing with him, they'll realise like he's the man to be around. And
I thought a few times that they, like a few players at Newcastle, missed their jump on him. He's big, so he's going to get offloads, and he was swinging the ball around.
He was waiting for someone to be there. So as those connections, those patterns of play become more familiar to some of those Newcastle Knights players, I think we'll see the best of him. He's in for a great year, and I'm really pleased to see two young English lads come out and take their opportunity. Will Price is another one who's waiting in the wings at Newcastle. So, looking forward to seeing them. But, geez, I think that's about it, mate. It's been a fascinating round one.
It actually really was.
You play Sunday. Is that right? You playing Sunday this week?
Manly.
I
think we're at Brooklyn.
4 Pounds Park by.
Oh.
Yeah, it's not Brookvale anymore.
We only talk about Tui's here, mate.
Not anymore.
What?
Yeah, not anymore. We'll
get them back.
We'll get them back.
They'll be back.
The two winners over in Vegas should be a good game. Trebojevic against Tedesco. A lot to like.
Yeah. A lot for Maguire to take in.
Madge Maguire, you're talking about?
Yeah.
All right.
He's
the New South Wales coach, yeah. Yeah. How have you done any prep on Manly yet, or is that later in the week?
No.
Just leave that for another.
We've just been getting our arseholes resold.
Yeah.
The last couple of days, and now we're on our little break. Got the day off today.
And then
I'm still coming to work because I don't take days off, kids.
Team no
Didn't
days
get this
off.
far taking days off.
That is very true. I didn't get that. All right. Well, all the very best against Manly, 4 Pounds Park.
Thank you.
I'll be commentating that game. So
hopefully Dom Young's back. That'll be awesome.
Oh, is he due back?
Well, he's training with us.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Yeah, that would be a massive inclusion. But then Manu, is Billy Smith back?
Don't give me the drama like that.
No, is Billy Smith back?
I don't know yet. I actually don't know.
Cough if you think he will.
No, I actually don't know if he's back. Well, I haven't been training.
Who, you haven't, or Billy Smith hasn't?
Billy Smith, but like we haven't been training. We've had 2 days. Yeah.
Right, okay. Was Billy Smith training when you had the 2 days in?
He was, but not with me. I was in the hurt locker.
All right, well, it's a big selection headache actually for Coach Trent Robertson when he's got his full armoury of players at his disposal.
Yeah.
Jared's back as well, isn't he?
Yeah. He's in reserve grade jersey. You know what's so cool about Jared? He is 9 games away from being the most kept rooster
of all time. Wow.
Which is like, and the way he's played, I don't know how.
No, that's.
It's incredible. How old's this club? 100-year-old club? No.
1908.
Yeah,
foundation. So what?
Yeah, 100
something. 110. No. This is bad for our maths, isn't it?
What did we just say? 1906. Did you say?
No, 1908.
Oh,
115, 116. Charlie must have a calculator back there.
Charlie had a calculator back there. There's no way he's smarter than us.
That is fucking very, very basic
Can we cut
maths
that?
as well.
Can we cut that?
No, it's all going to stay in. All right, well, Jared, 7 games to go.
I said 9.
9, 7, whatever. Yeah, but he's back with a vengeance.
I hope not too much vengeance.
No,
though. I do like playing with everyone on the field.
All right. Cheers.
We've dragged this ending on.
Yeah. All the very best. Great to see you again, mate.
Sayonara.
See you, mate.